Okay, welcome. I'm so excited you're here for coaching yourself on your own transformation. How many times have you said, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 days a week and then never followed through? Or maybe you said, I'm gonna eat really healthy next year, but then you end up eating exactly the same. Raise your hand if you've done this. I get it. I've done the exact thing for many years, and I'm so excited to share with you some of my biggest tips to creating your own transformation. Have you ever thought of yourself, I just can't create better habits, or I'm just undisciplined, or I just can't be self-controlled? Like, that was me for many years, and I thought I could never be that person who could have a routine for my health every day and actually stick with it until this year. So I'm going to share with you some really light bulb moments that I had this year that changed everything for me, and they're going to change everything for you too. First of all, let's talk about goals. I think we've all been in that place where we just wonder if there's any point to setting a goal, because whenever we've set a goal in the past, it hasn't changed anything, right? So let me explain to you why you have a hard time reaching your goals. It isn't because you can't. It's because you have a brain whose one job is to keep you safe. Our brain is looking for things that fit into 3 categories: conserving energy, finding pleasure, and avoiding discomfort. This is called the motivational triad. Our brain wants to keep us safe and keep us comfortable. That's its job. However, making new habits, creating lifestyle changes, and healing our bodies usually requires some discomfort. I mean, personally, I can't even think of a goal I've ever wanted to set that meant I was going to be more comfortable, I would avoid all discomfort, and I would conserve energy. I can't even think of one, okay? So your brain is going to offer you many thoughts of why you shouldn't make any changes at all. Here's some thoughts your brain has probably offered you. I don't have time for blank. How many times have we said that to ourselves in our head? I don't have time to eat healthier. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to take supplements. I don't have time to turn on my diffuser. I mean, I've said that. It's too expensive to eat better. I can't afford supplements and oils. It might not work. My kids' health is more important than mine. I can't commit. I'm not disciplined enough to do that. We might not even say these things out loud, but they're definitely thoughts that are in our brains. Do you see how all these thoughts actually shut down any creative opportunities around the obstacles in your life? We all have obstacles to getting where we want to be, but it's what we do about them that makes all the difference. If you are constantly thinking, I can't afford that, you will never figure out a way that you could afford it because you just shut down your brain, told your brain not to think of any other way to make it happen. This is called scarcity or poverty mentality. And if you're anything like how I used to be, this is probably showing up a lot in every area of your life. An abundance mindset is one that says, I'm going to figure out how to get the money for this. Instead of saying, that's too expensive, you can think, I can't buy it yet, because it hasn't shut down the possibility, and your brain will still start to think of creative ways that you could afford it in the future. This is so key. So many people shut down their own health transformation with the one thought, I can't afford it. But I'm telling you right now, and you know it's true, that when you really want something, you will figure out a way to pay for it, right? We all know there have been things that we paid for that we had to figure out how to make it happen, right? But on the other hand, we all know that there's been things that we paid for that we didn't actually use, and we didn't see the transformation that we wanted to see because of that. So let's talk about how to get your transformation. How do we create habits that feel hard in the moment? We have to learn to manage our brain. And we have to learn that whatever stories it tells us is just trying to keep us safe. And they're usually not true. we actually have to look at our thoughts, pull them out of our brain, and really look at them and ask, is that actually true? And you have to realize that absolutely every single habit in your life stems from a belief you have, and then from a thought that you think that creates an emotion that you feel. And almost everything you do in your life on a daily basis is run from your subconscious thoughts, which make up about 90% of your total thoughts. This is why you have to actually dig in and find that real thought that's keeping you stuck. So let me show you an example of how to do this. So for example, if the thought is, I don't have time. If you think this, you're going to immediately start feeling stressed out and overwhelmed. And because you feel overwhelmed and stressed, the action that you take is not to move forward towards trying to figure out how to create a habit that fits into your lifestyle. And so your health stays the same 1 year from now. Is that the result that you actually want? That's the question you have to ask. Does this belief or thought and the feeling that it creates in me cause me to take the desired action or not? And does the action that I do take from this thought and the feeling that it's creating in me create the result that I want to have in my life? Let's look at another one. I don't have the money for investing in my health right now. This might make you feel helpless and hopeless. And because you feel helpless, you just tell yourself, I'm just stuck, then I can't make the changes that I want to make. And the result of that action or non-action is that you don't look for ways to find the money you need, and you don't invest in your health, and everything that's happening in your body right now has another year of wreaking havoc, right? So this is how your thoughts influence your emotions, which influence your actions, which creates your results. And this is true for every single part of your life. So when you're doing something that you actually don't want to do, like binge eating sweets, how many of us have done this? Snacking on processed food, okay, you need to figure out why. Why is it that I do this thing that I don't actually want to do, right? And your true power lies in the fact that you get to choose what thoughts to believe. You have a choice. So as long as you can find that subconscious thought and ask the question, is that actually true? You can decide whether you want to continue to believe that thought or whether you actually want to choose a different thought to believe. You get to choose how you feel and the thoughts you believe. This is the most important thing I've learned in my entire life. I had no idea it was possible. If there's only one thing that you learn from this workshop, it's this. You can choose exactly how you feel because you can choose the exact thought that you want to believe. And a different thought creates a different emotion, which creates a different action, which results in a different result. And if you truly believe that you are worth investing in, your thought could be, investing in my health is the best investment. The emotion you get when you think that thought is confidence, and from that place you'll choose an action to take to invest in your health, and your result is that you will see transformation. Isn't that really cool? So it's inevitable. But I'm going to share with you a few pitfalls that will take you down every time. Here are a few ones. Okay, massive change requires massive action. I need an accountability partner. I had this bad thing happen and now I just can't get better. Could be emotional trauma, could be physical trauma. This is going to be so hard. I have messed up so much and I just never going to get it right. So you're feeling massive amounts of guilt and shame for other choices you've made in your life. If it doesn't feel better in a month, it must not be working. This isn't working. Or thoughts on repeat going through your brain, they can't seem to stop. So let's talk about how you can avoid each of these pitfalls. First of all, massive change does not require massive action. Massive change requires consistency, and it starts with small steps done every day, and that is where massive change begins. It doesn't require massive action. Massive action will paralyze you every time. You need to decide the small baby steps that you need to begin in order to reach your goals. Focus on building your discipline with 1 or 2 at a time and stack on more as they get easier. This is how you create massive change sustainably. I want you to remember this. Consistency always compounds. Always. How about getting an accountability partner? I used to think a good accountability partner was the only way I could create a habit. Now I know that I was just outsourcing my own results to someone else. Here's the thing. We have to take responsibility for our own actions, and we have to be committed to keeping our own promises to ourselves. And we need to build our discipline muscle. If we put all of that on another fallible human being, we just outsourced our transformation to someone else. You have to be committed to keeping your own promises to yourself. On that same note, you do have to let go of the victim mentality. You might have gone through very hard things in your life, physically or emotionally, but those things do not have to dictate the healing that is available to you now. You get to choose. You can choose to heal, to put the hard work in, to be discomfortable, to choose growth. Don't let your past dictate how you show up for yourself now. You have to take responsibility for everything in your life that you have control over, and that's yourself. At the same time, when you're making change in your life, you have to show yourself self-compassion. If you are so busy beating yourself up for your past and all the choices and decisions you made that got you where you are today, you will never be able to move forward. You cannot grow from a place of guilt and shame. And I want you to really hear that. You cannot grow from a place of shame and guilt. Self-compassion is the greatest motivator for change. So if you're having a hard day and you're not showing up for yourself the way you committed to doing, you're not going to beat yourself up. I want you to look at yourself, and I want you to offer yourself compassion, and I want you to offer your brain compassion for just being a human brain. And when you offer yourself compassion, you'll be able to move forward and get right back into your new habit the next day without letting guilt get the final say. Shame has no place in your transformation journey. Just decide that right now. Let's talk about hard. Is it hard? I want to reframe what you think about hard. Let's imagine that your choice is between choosing to be a couch potato or choosing to get into shape. Sounds much easier to me to lay on the couch, right? I mean, I think everyone agrees, it sounds easier to lay on the couch, okay? But let's look at how that ends up down the road. Down the road, your back is hurting because your core isn't strong. You have a hard time getting on the floor and getting back up. If this keeps going, you could end up falling and breaking a bone when you're older. That sets you back big time and is very painful. So what was the easy choice is really the hard one later. So choosing to get into shape, it feels hard. It feels discomfortable. You're going to sweat. Your muscles might hurt. It doesn't sound fun. But look at where that gets you down the road. The more in shape you get, the easier it is. The easier it is to lift that heavy weight, the easier it is to do squats, the easier it is to get up off the floor, the stronger your core is, and the better you're going to age. So what you choose as easy today is hard later, and the hard you choose now turns into an easy habit. Which do you want? This is why it bothers me so much when people say, oh, I'm fine, I don't have any major health problems. I don't need to ditch the toxins in my home. I don't need to eat better. None of that is true because everything you do compounds. Using toxic chemicals in your home day after day compounds into hormone issues, PMS, and cancer. And at some point, it is too late. It's too hard to turn back time with natural solutions. And maybe you're feeling like you're there now. And I want to encourage you that you may need some Western medicine for certain areas of your health, but the more you can move towards natural solutions, the better you'll feel over time because natural solutions don't create a host of side effects the same way medicine does. It's better to choose the hard of investing in better products for your health and supporting your body systems before your health goes bad, before your hormones are a disaster, before you end up with a chronic illness. Choose your hard. Hard could be sacrificing that concert ticket or that vacation for investing in your health. We've had to do that. And it's not fun, it's not easy, but it was the most important thing that we could do. Honestly, we also need to focus on creating a life that we don't need to escape from by doing the things that we need to do for our mental health and healing and growing so we can love our life and enjoy the process and the journey instead of thinking we will only be happy once we reach a certain place. I know that's hard, but it's 100% always worth it. And I just want to encourage you this year to lean into this discomfort of healing emotionally so you can love the life you're living right now. Here's another pitfall a lot of people fall into, including myself. If I don't feel better in a month, it must not be working. We get into such a tizzy to get our results fast, don't we? Like we get sucked into those lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks or get your body back in a month or do this diet for 30 days ads, right? Because it sounds nice and they promise to give us the results we want fast. But here's the truth. Healing takes time and that's okay. It took years to get to where you are now. Embrace the time it takes to heal. And remember that consistency always compounds. Do we really want fast results that disappear as quickly as they come? Or do we want sustainable results? Let's aim for creating sustainable lifestyle choices that can set us up for a better quality of life as we age. That's really the goal, isn't it? Imagine how you're going to feel in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years if you start caring for your body now. Okay, here's another really sneaky thought that will always set you back if you choose to believe it. This isn't working. This is exactly why so many people stop all their New Year's goals by January 14th. Because about every 15 days or so, your brain is going to offer you the thought, this isn't working. Trust me, I've experienced this with every habit, whether it's for my physical health or my business that I've built this year. When I choose to believe it, it always sets me back. When I choose not to believe it, and I choose to believe this is working, I keep on going and everything changes. Lastly, I do want to address emotional trauma and how it affects your ability to manage your brain. I've had a lot of healing work to do on my mental health through Aroma Freedom and therapy. And there was a point in my past that I could not have actually managed my brain because there were thoughts just on repeat through my head that I couldn't stop. And it took healing emotionally and processing those memories that caused those thoughts to continually run through my mind in order to begin rewiring my brain so I could actually manage my thoughts. And even though I was diagnosed this year with ADHD, I have learned the power of managing my brain. I'm always going to be a work in progress, and also you're always going to have thoughts you have to manage. But the amount of transformation that I've seen by learning how to manage my brain this year has been nothing short of life-changing. You can manage your mind, even if you have ADHD or another neurodivergent type. It's actually possible. But again, it might require some emotional healing and release work to let go of negative memories that are causing your brain to get stuck in thought process ruts. And this was really key for me as someone who's gone through emotional trauma as a teenager. Okay, now that we've gone over the pitfalls that will keep you stuck, let's talk about how to make a goal really stick. Here's what you need to do. You're going to write down your goal. And you need to ask yourself, why does this goal matter to me? This is really important. I want you to ask yourself and write down your answers to each of these. What will it look like in 1 year if I stick with this goal? What will it look like in 2 years if I stick with this goal? What will it look in 5 years if I stick with this goal? And then you need to ask yourself, why is this goal so important to me that I will show up committed to my goal even on days when I feel like garbage? Because you're going to have those days. And we're not going to count on motivation to keep you going. Motivation is crap. Discipline is where it's at. Okay? And I want you to write down 10 reasons why it's important to your future self that you stick with this goal. This is the work, friends. This is exactly what will change your life. This is what it looks like to slow down, to speed up. Listening to your brain, putting your brain to work for you will change your life. And then you need to write down your exact plan of how you're going to stick to your goal. This needs to be realistic and sustainable. If you aren't exercising at all, don't write down that you're going to exercise for 30 minutes 5 days a week. Nope. I want you to start with 5 minutes. I want you to show up for yourself for 5 minutes, 5 times a week. And this is where you might need someone to walk with you and help you figure out your plan that's going to give you the best results possible. That's why I hired a weight loss coach. It wasn't because I needed her to keep me accountable, because I've learned that I can do that myself. It's because I needed to hone my habits more so I could create the results I want, and I didn't know what to do next or what habits I was missing. And this is how I help my clients as well. I help them figure out a sustainable plan of action to prioritize supporting the body systems that need the most help based on a wellness assessment. That way, you aren't just throwing things at your body, hoping something will stick, and you're not even targeting the part of your body that needs the most help where you could see the biggest change. So when we create your wellness plan, you'll have a plan of exactly what you're going to use, when you're going to use it, how much you're going to use a day that feels doable, feels realistic, and feels sustainable. And when you're ready to begin supporting your body systems and processing negative emotions and memories, message me and let's talk. I want to help you work towards wellness, both physically and emotionally, so you can feel your best and be the best that you can be. But first, you have to commit to yourself that you are worth making these simple changes. And I need you to give yourself grace for exactly where you are right at this moment, because you cannot shame yourself into making better health choices. It will never create the results that you want. You have to love your body enough to change. Do you want the best for your body? Do you love your body exactly like it is right now with no judgment? Do you love your body enough to take action and give it the best care it deserves? I want to leave you with a few thoughts that will create the feelings, actions, and your desired results inevitably. So here are a few of them. My body matters. Taking care of myself allows me to serve others. I am currently looking for ways to afford blank. It's okay if it takes time to heal. I want to feel better 5 years from now than I do today, so I will commit to keeping promises I make to myself. I have all the time I need. I can take the time to care for myself. I want a good quality of life as I age. Investing in my health is the best investment. These thoughts will help you create the habits and take the actions you need to take to create the results you want in your health. Remind yourself that your brain likes to be lazy. Tell your brain you can do hard things, and then celebrate every small win. Maybe it's that you ate more veggies today than you did yesterday. That's a win. Maybe it's that you lifted a heavier weight this week than you did last week. That's a win. Maybe it's that you drank more water today than yesterday. That's a win. Every win that you celebrate tells your brain that you can do this, that you can do hard things, that this is working. So don't focus on everything that isn't happening yet. Focus on everything that is, and be grateful, because gratitude will change your life. I love you guys. I am rooting for you, and I'm here to cheer you on and celebrate those small wins and help you feel your very best. If you'd like to take the free Body Systems Assessment to see what to prioritize in your health, reach out to me. Let's get you feeling amazing and taking actions on your health goals.